In the book is that President Donald Trump, really hurt America's standing on the world stage. We just saw President Biden's first trip abroad, both his meeting with our allies and that summit with Vladimir Putin. How'd he do?
You know, it's in some ways a return to traditionalism that we're seeing, and this is not surprising. This is something Biden, in fact, promised on the campaign trail. When he met with Putin, for instance, he actually, after the fact, clarified to reporters a nod that he had made at the outset of the meeting wasn't a secret coded yes to a question about him trusting Putin. It was just an incidental nod. That clearly shows he's going out of his way to avoid a lot of the precedents of the Trump era, including elevating Vladimir Putin, elevating a lot of different strongmen. But that said, what we're seeing back home at the State Department is this is still an institution that is in some ways bleeding out after the Trump administration.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. You saw something of a brain drain. You also saw for years diplomats being pushed aside in favor of the military. Do you think the balance is coming back?
We've talked about this over the years, George. It's a problem that has been percolating for several administrations across several different political parties, but it really reached a nadir during the Trump administration. Massive proposed budget cuts, massive staffing cuts, real cultural problems where career officials, the expertise in the State Department, the people who negotiate our way out of conflicts around the world, were not respected, were regarded with suspicion or called, traitors or members of the deep state. Those are going to take a long time to roll back. Those are real structural problems that I interviewed every living Secretary of State for this book, War on Peace, that I'm now re-releasing on this subject. And again and again, they said this is going to take maybe a generation to fix.
Let's talk about Harvey Weinstein. You won your Pulitzer Prize for reporting on his sex crimes. He's serving a 23-year sentence right now. And now you have a new HBO series coming out on it?
Yeah, it starts streaming and airing on HBO and HBO Max on July 12th. And, I did a bunch of really intimate and I think revealing interviews with incredibly brave sources around that story. Everyone from, these survivors of terrible crimes who were breaking through a culture of silence to private spies that were hired to chase around me and sources and reporters on the stories. These are interesting perspectives to hear and to read about, but really seeing them and seeing the emotional journey these individuals went on to become whistleblowers is incredibly illuminating, George. So I'm grateful that, that footage of those original interviews is finding a home now, and it's been incredible to see it come together. I can't take credit for it. A very talented pair of directors at World of Wonder put it together into something beautiful. Hope people watch.
So the world wants to know, Ronan, you proposed to your fiancée, John Lovett, one of the co-hosts of Pod Save America, just before the pandemic. How are the wedding plans going?
Now, a question, are our mothers producers on the show at this point, or it's just an incidental question? There is some pressure within the family for us to finally get our acts together and plan this thing. I think it was going to happen during that pandemic window, and now I'm going to have to take a break from all this work stuff and actually get you an answer on that. I think soon is the answer.
And we will get props from your moms for asking the question. Ronan, thanks very much. Rise, an updated edition of War on Peace is out today.